Hi students, good afternoon everybody. So in the previous videos we have completed prose 1. So in this video we are going to see our first poem, The Castle by Edwin Moir. So considering the poem we have 6 marks in comprehension and 5 marks in paragraph and again 4 marks in ERZ. So totally we have 6 plus 5, 11 plus 4, 15 marks from poem. So for answering comprehension questions, it is very important to understand the poem so that you can answer in whatever manner the question is asked. Okay. So let us see about the author now. Edwin Moir, he was born in 1887 and was died in 1959. So he was a renowned Scottish poet, novelist, translator and critic. So he was a famous Scottish poet. He was one of the most important poet in Scotland. He was a novelist, a translator. That is, he had translated many other poems or many other collections and some other works, and critic. So critic means a person who comments something which is good or bad. So the poets have a nature of writing criticism for others' work. That is, they will comment what is good, they will criticize others' work, they will criticize what is good, what is bad, where it is good, where it is bad, what could be the alternative. That is called as criticism. So the Edwin Moir is also a critic. He was remembered for his vivid poetry. Okay, so what is vivid poetry? It means all his poem has a clear picture of his concept. Okay, so all his poems will be very clearly picturized. Okay, so he was remembered for his vivid poetry. He began writing poetry at a relatively old age. So he was not writing since his young age. So he started writing only at his old age. It was that his parents had lost their farm when he was 14 years old, and after few years his father and mother were dead, and he started working in a coal factory. There he could not work. They continue his work there. Like this, he had faced many crises in his life, and then only at the old age he started writing his poem. Okay, and over the course of several years, worked out an individual philosophical style for which he gained a recognition later in his life. Okay, so his poem was recognized only during his later part of his life. So first poems and chorus of the newly dead contain Moir's initial attempts. So attempt means try. So at first his works were, that is, first two of his works were first poems and chorus of the newly dead. So these two were the first two poems tried by Edwin. Moir's later collections include Variations on a Time Theme, The Narrow Place, The Voyage and Other Poems, The Labyrinth and One Foot in Eden. Okay, so these were his other collections. Now let us go into the poem The Castle. Okay, so first of all, what is a castle? So the castle is a very big palace built for the royal persons, that is royal persons like king. Okay, so what is the speciality in a castle is all the castles have a So what is speciality in the castle is all the castles have a dome-like structure like this. Okay, so we can find the structure in all the castles. See, all the castles have this dome-like structures. Okay, that is the speciality in all the castles. So what is the purpose of this dome-like structure is? So that is the place where they used to stand and watch the enemies. Okay, so they can find at what distance the enemies are marching towards their castle. That is the purpose of building those dome-like structures in the castle. Okay, now What thoughts come to your mind when you think about a castle? Add your ideas to the list. So they have given few. So that is what thoughts come to your mind when you think about a castle. When you just think a castle, imagine a castle in your mind. So what thoughts comes in your mind? So castles will have moat. Okay, so what is moat? Moat is it is a deep, broad ditch which is built around the castle. Okay, so it will be filled with water. So it is for defense. Okay, it will be built for a defense, that is as a protection to the castle. And when we think about the castle, so all the castles are huge buildings. So all the castles have soldiers, weapons. Okay, so likewise you can fill the remaining 2 dashes. Next, B. Have you ever visited a fort or a castle? So have you ever visited a fort or a castle? So here what is the difference between a fort and a castle? Okay, so a castle is a building which is usually meant for kings and the royal persons to live in. Okay, so in the castle is a very huge strong building. It will be a very strong building where the royal persons like kings will live. So fort is a place which will be used to store weapons, and the soldiers will be living there, and it will be mostly for the defense purpose. Okay, so around the castle a fort will be built. So what is the purpose? It is for a defense. Okay, so there is a difference between a castle and a fort. So castle is a place where royal persons will live, and fort is a place where soldiers will be living, weapons will be kept. It is a place of defense. Okay, next, see, fill in the following empty boxes. So Fort St. George, so where it is in Chennai. So Jinji Fort, find where it is, Golconda Fort and Red Fort. So all this you can do it yourself, right? Now let us get through the poem. All through that summer at ease we lay, and daily from the turret wall we watched the mowers in the hay, and the enemy half a mile away, they seemed no threat to us at all. Okay, so in today's class we are going to see the first 3 stanzas. Okay, for what we thought had we to fear, with our arms and provender, load on load, our towering battlements, tier on tier, in friendly Alice join near, on every leafy summer road. Our gates were strong, our walls were thick, so smooth and high, no man could win a foothold there. No clever trick could take us dead or quick, only a bird could have gotten. Okay, so let us see the first stanza now. All through that summer at ease we lay. So all through the summer season, okay, at ease we lay. So what is at ease? So here the meaning of at ease is, so they doesn't have any difficulty. So here we refers to the soldiers living in the castle, or the soldiers who were protecting the castle. Okay, so what the soldiers are telling is, all through that summer, so throughout the summer the soldiers were not in a tension, that is they were not in a stress. Okay, they doesn't have any difficulty, they doesn't feel any difficulty, they doesn't have any stress, they doesn't have any tension. Okay, so at ease we lay, so they were living a rested life. Okay, so they were living a rested life, they doesn't feel any difficulty. And daily from the turret wall. Okay, and daily, so every day from the turret wall. So what is turret is, so it is a tower built in the top of the castle for defense. So as I already said, this place is called as turret. Okay, so and daily from the turret wall we watched the movers in the hay. Okay, so and daily from the turret wall. So daily what the soldiers were doing is from the turret wall. So already I have said this turret is a place where they used to stand and watch whether the enemies are marching towards the castle. Okay, so what their job is, they'll be daily looking from the turret wall whether any enemies are marching towards the castle. So and daily from the turret wall we watched the movers in the hay. Okay, so what they were watching from the turret wall is they just used to watch the movers in the hay. So what does mean by movers here? You might have seen the machines which is used to cut the grasses in the lawn. Okay, so that is called as mower. So it is a machine for cutting grass. Okay, so we watched the movers in the hay. So in the distant fields, the soldiers were only able to watch the machines cutting the grass. Okay, so hay is it is animal food. So when the grasses are cut and dried, it will be used as a food for animals. Okay, so just they were from the turret wall, they were watching the movers in the hay, that is the machines cutting the grasses. So after the grasses were cut, it will be dried and it will be used as a fodder for animals. Okay, so we watched the movers in the hay, and the enemy half a mile away, there seemed no threat to us at all. Okay, and the enemy half a mile away. Okay, so the enemies were half a mile away. Okay, so the enemies, that is, it means here till half a mile distance from the castle, they couldn't see any enemies. Okay, it means if at all if there are enemies, they might be half a mile away from the castle, because from the turret wall they could see only the movers in the hay. Okay, they were not able to see any enemies. So if at all if the enemies were present, they might be half a mile away from the castle. So that means the enemies were not very close to the castle, so they were very safe. Okay, so that's why they were not in a stress, they were in a resting situation, they were taking rest. Okay, there seemed no threat to us at all, since they couldn't find any enemy within half a mile or at half a mile. Okay, so there seemed no threat to us at all. So what is threat here? Threat means fear. Okay, so there doesn't have any feel of threat or any feel of fear, because they were not able to witness any enemy till half a mile distance. If at all if they were present, they will be half a mile away from the castle. So they doesn't have any stress of protecting the castle, and they were feeling very safe and secure. So this is in the first stanza. I hope you all have understood. Now let us go to the second stanza. For what we thought had we to fear, with our arms and provender, load on load, our towering battlements, tier on tier, and friendly Alice drawing near on every leafy summer road. Okay, so we thought, they were thinking. So who were thinking? The soldiers were thinking. Okay, we thought, for what had we to fear? So why we should have fear? Why should we have a feel of fear? Okay, so with our arms and provender, load on load, because they have lot of weapons. Okay, they have lot of weapons, they have lot of armed forces, and provender. Provender means food. Okay, they have lot of food. Load on load. So how the food and arms were is, they have it load on load. Okay, so for what had we to fear? Okay, so there is no need to fear. Our towering battlements, tier on tier. Okay, our towering battlements. So what does mean by towering battlements? So it is a place. So if you have a chance of visiting any castle, you can see. So towering battlements, it is a place from where they will be releasing arrow from the bow. Okay, so the soldiers will be hiding there in that gap and they will be releasing arrow from the bow. Okay, so nowadays it is shooting, right? So likewise it is a place where they'll have gap in the castle, so that the soldiers can hide there and they'll be attacking the enemy forces. Okay, so our towering battlements, tier on tier. Okay, so that is, so what is the meaning of tier is one above the other. That is, they have many towering battlements, that is many places to hide and attack the soldiers, and friendly allies drawing near. Okay, so friendly allies, it means they have forces, that is armed forces from the supporting or from the friendly nations. Okay, from the neighboring places or from the neighboring kingdom or from the neighboring countries, they have many supporting arms. They have many supporting armed forces. They were drawing near and also they were coming towards the castle to help these soldiers. Okay, so on every leafy summer road. Okay, so on the road, on the every road during that summer season. Okay, so the armed forces from the neighboring countries or supporting countries are coming towards the castle, so they doesn't have any fear. We thought, for what had we to fear? So for what we should fear? Because we have many weapons, lot of weapons and food. They have load and load of weapons and food. They have many towering battlements. Okay, so they have many places to hide and attack the enemies. And also the armed forces from the friendly nations are coming on the leafy summer road. So during that summer season, in every road, the supporting nations are coming to help them. So we thought, for what had we to fear? So they doesn't have any fear of the enemies. Okay. So let us go to the third stanza now. Our gates were strong, our walls were thick, so smooth and high, no man could win a foothold there, no clever trick could take us dead or quick, only a bird could have gotten. Right? Our gates were strong. So further, their gates were, the gates of that castle were very strong. Okay, our gates were strong, our walls were thick, and also the walls of the castle were very thick. Okay, and it is so smooth. Okay, so you know what is the meaning of smooth, right? So here the meaning of smooth is it will be very smooth. That is, it will be, if something is so smooth, it will be slippery, right? So their wall is very smooth, that is it will be, as it is smooth, it will be slippery and high, and also the walls were very high. So what the poet means here is, as the wall is smooth, that is as it is slippery and as it is high, no one could even climb the wall because it is very smooth, so that it will be slippery. So no enemy could even climb the wall because it is slippery and high. Okay, so no man could win. So there is no chance, no possibility of any man could win them a foothold there. They even cannot keep their food there. Okay, so no clever trick could take us dead or quick. Okay, no clever trick. So no master plan of the enemies can work out there. Okay, no plan of the enemies can help them to take us dead or quick. So here us refers to the soldiers in the castle. So what the poet means here is, no master plan, no clever plan made by the enemies will take them dead or quick. So what is the meaning of quick here is alive. Okay, so here the meaning of quick is alive. So nothing, no plan of the enemies can take the soldiers dead or alive. only a bird could have gotten. Okay, so what is possible there is only a bird can get inside the castle, because the birds will naturally fly, have a capacity to fly very high. Okay, so only a bird can enter into the castle. No other enemies could enter into the castle, because they have very strong gates, they have thick walls. The walls are very smooth, it is very slippery, and it is very high. So no man can keep a food there, that is no enemy can keep the food there. No clever trick, no no master plan of the enemies no master plan of the enemies can take the soldiers in the castle dead or quick, but only a bird can get inside the castle, no one else. Okay, so the first stanza tells about the stress-free mind of the soldiers. Okay, so since there are no enemies marching towards them, they were having a stress-free life. The second stanza says about the strongness of the soldiers in the castle. Okay, they were feeling very strong, very strengthened, since they have armed forces, battlements, neighboring nations to help. So this second stanza substantiates the strength of the soldiers, and the third stanza substantiates the strength of the castle. Okay, it says about the strength, how strong the castle is, so that no one and no enemy can get in except a bird. Only a bird can get inside the castle, and no enemies can get inside the castle. Okay, I hope you understand. So let us continue in the next video. Thank you.